Awesome. Sean, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me to talk through Cloud Pak for AIOps. And as Sean said, how we can use Cloud Pak for AIOps to bring together all the disparate tools you have within your environment, all the across the different silos you have in your teams to help make your operations run more smoothly when there's an incident. My name is Gene Sussman. I'm the group product manager for Cloud Pak for AIOps. In that role, I have overall product management responsibility for the entire product lifecycle for Cloud Pak for AIOps, as well as the other event incident management products within the IBM portfolio. And this is really important because, as you can see in the title, as Sean said, this area doesn't just deal with one point solution. It's about bringing together all the different parts of your environment, especially when an incident arises, when time is of the essence and when you really need to get to resolution quickly. All right. So quick overview. We're going to go through the approach to AIOps that IBM sees, the use cases and the benefits. So that's the overall problem space, where we're seeing teams having issues today, and how you can alleviate some of those problems by using Cloud Pak for AIOps. Then we'll do a deeper dive into the capabilities of Cloud Pak for AIOps. And finally, we're going to end with some of the successes that our clients have been able to see with Cloud Pak for AIOps and getting to quicker time to remediation. As a product manager, I throw this slide at the start of every talk that I give. All this says is that we're going to be talking through some forward-looking aspects of the product, some plans that we have on the roadmap. The roadmap is subject to change, so we'll see how that goes going forward. But this is where we see the future of Cloud Pak for AIOps going. So let's kick it off. I'd like you to start by thinking back to the last time your team faced an IT outage that severely impacted your business. So think back to the scenario, what occurred, who was involved in trying to figure out the problem, how many different teams were brought together, what that process was like. So was it a smooth and easy process, or was there a big email chain? How quickly you were able to figure out what the issue was, and then how quickly were you able to solve that issue? So now you've thought about that. Was it like this? Was it like a Formula One pit crew that at a moment's notice was all able to come together, work interconnectedly across their different responsibilities, understand exactly what the problem was, to pinpoint the issue, solve it, and then get back on the track as quickly as possible? Or was it more like this? So the classic picture in the upper left, sorry, all the Spider-Men pointing at each other. Here you can see your network, cloud, infrastructure, application. So all of them would probably start by pointing at the network where they're trying to claim innocence, but really not an understanding of where the problem lies. Probably a war room with hundreds of people on a single email, trying to figure out where the problem is located, what caused the problem, and then who we can bring in as quickly as possible to remediate that problem. And the reason is because this is incredibly costly, right? You can see at the bottom, 91% of enterprises report that downtime costs exceed $300,000 per hour, and that's an average. If you think about it, there are many scenarios where that will be much more expensive, right? Think about a retailer on Black Friday. An hour of downtime can be much more expensive than $300,000 per hour. So this is incredibly important to streamline this area of your operations in order to reduce the loss and make sure that all your systems are up and running and performant, so that you can service your end users, your clients, as well as possible. So why is this issue occurring? So first, we see the increasingly connected nature of our systems. So we can see over on the left, maybe 20, 30 years ago, we only have NetOps and ITOps, the network and traditional data centers. We start bringing in the infrastructure teams, OT and edge devices. And now we have the emergence of private cloud, public cloud being brought in order to deliver the experiences for our end customers. But if you look at the bottom, right, those business services, these are all connected. So we use devices, the network, data centers, cloud in order to build up these experiences for end users through either applications or services. But the lines are not clearly defined, right? They're very much interconnected. All these teams are reliant on a connected set of infrastructure in order to make these services happen. So while this is all connected, unfortunately, what we see are silos that come up around this complexity. As we get more and more of these different layers of our IT stack, which are needed in order to deliver these unified services, these unified experiences, what we naturally introduce are siloed natures into it, where the teams are self-reliant and don't do a great job of connecting across the different silos. So when a issue arises, these issues don't know the boundaries of your organization, so we need to be able to come together quickly. And that becomes more and more difficult as what we're dealing with in terms of the IT infrastructure is even more complex. So you can see 92% of UK financial services companies are reliant on legacy technology. So it's not necessarily components that are well understood, that have teams that are currently active who know how to triage them and fix them. Sometimes these are components that have not been touched in years and have less and less skills attached when an issue arises. 70% of software used by Fortune 5,000 companies were developed more than 20 years ago, right? So a very, very similar problem that the software that they're using has a major skill gap and fewer people who know how to fix it when a problem occurs. And 74%, even though we want to get to a modernized infrastructure, 74% of organizations that have started legacy migration and modernization have those projects fail. So this is a problem that we have that is not going away, that your environments are complex, your teams are growing more complex, and there's a siloed nature to them. And on the bottom right, we really try to illustrate this interconnected nature of applications and services where, staying within your own lane becomes increasingly problematic when an incident arises. So for us, Cloud Pak for AIOps unifies your operations. And AIOps itself is the solution because this is a discipline that combines both software solution. So as we'll take you through what Cloud Pak for AIOps does in terms of software, but also cultural practices, right? How your organization can work together when an issue arises to give you a unified visibility of the entire connected enterprise, like a unified fault management, and finally, unifying the team itself in order to come together and make sure that your operations are as efficient and as performant as possible. Right. So diving deeper into what we see within specific organizations that are causing these operations challenge. So first, we see a tremendous number of tools throughout the organization. So each one of these different silos that I talked about, infrastructure, network, applications, SRE, line of business, they all are reliant on their own set of tools in order to understand their portion of the world. These tools are often very good for that purpose, but they don't have a way of bringing this all together for a comprehensive state view that will show them what is happening across all of those different components, especially across all those shared components. They have limited alignment across the team. So not only are they in their tools, but there really isn't a structure in place to help bring them all together when an issue occurs, which is why we see these 100 people plus war rooms. And finally, they don't have the tools that are necessary to resolve an issue when one occurs. Most of the resolution is still very manual. Once they figure out what's occurring, they are going themselves in order to fix it and don't have automations in place to make that quicker, to make that easier, to get the mean time for mediation lower. So for Cloud Pak for AIOps, we have one unified operations tool that bring all of these pieces together to help you unify your operations and get you to that resolution faster. So we allow you to leverage your existing investments and processes in order to bring in the data that you need. So we don't believe in rip and replace. The tools that are being used within the different parts of your organization are likely very good for that purpose, and they have a tremendous amount of value. What we do is we bring in that information in order for you to get that view across all of those different silos. Next, we auto-derive context through merging so that when you do bring it in, rather than seeing the overlaps as different pieces, we give you one representation of your overall environment across these multiple sources of truth. And then finally, we use analytics to give you those insights about what is happening, where it's happening, and align the teams that are necessary when an incident occurs. The purpose of this, of course, is to gain visibility into the overall enterprise, reduce your support tickets by up to 70%, reduce your mean time to detect, identify, and resolve, and from a cultural perspective, turn the war rooms from conflict that we always see into collaboration. Awesome. So from a 20,000 foot view, I want to go through the different pieces of this. So first, we start with data ingest. We bring in all the different parts of your environment, the data flowing, both structured and unstructured data, in order to give you that the data that's fully representative of your environment. We then take that data and put contextualized information on top of it. So whether that be merging it in order to understand your overall topology, enriching it to give you the information that you need in order to make decisions on it, we give you that full context. We then bring in insights and analytics that allow you to take action on that data. So we're deduplicating, we're figuring out where the faults are, the blast radius, making sure that what you're dealing with is the smoking gun, right? To noise reduction, detecting the anomalies, and then using the topology that we created in order to understand what else is being affected. Finally, we use automations in order to help you get to resolution quicker. So through runbook automation, you're able to create those processes that allow you to quickly remediate when an issue arises. We will help you understand if this issue is similar to something else in order for you to get a full understanding of what the incident is, how you can fix it, and then hopefully even fix it with the touch of a button, with the ultimate goal of unifying your operations to make this all happen quicker for your operations team. So doing the double click in here, I want to highlight a few of the areas as we go through this process in Cloud Pak for AIOps. So we start with dynamic topology mapping and change tracking. So here, as I said, we bring in all the data within your environment and create a holistic estate view of what your IT environment looks like. We also monitor that over time so you can see what changed. Often when a change occurs, that is the culprit of an incident, of an alert. So we want you to be able to see what happened and where it happened and over time. Next, we understand that there's a tremendous amount of alerts, events within your system, and you need to be able to pick out the important ones from the less important ones. So through various AI models, correlation models, we're allowing you to reduce the noise within your environment, sometimes up to 99%, to understand where those alerts are that you should focus on, and also to create incidents on them. An incident may involve multiple alerts within your environment. We learn what those look like and bubble those incidents up for you. We bring in, like, as I said, both structured and unstructured data. So we allow you to look at your metrics and logs using natural language processing to help understand anomalies based on those, training on your data over time to make the system smarter, to understand what is happening within your environment. We use blast radius and fault localization to understand where a problem is occurring so that you know what teams should be brought in, where should you be focused when an incident occurs, and speeding your time to resolution. We also allow you to understand the prioritization that you should be taking on these incidents. We give you business criticality on when alert comes in, how critical is it to your overall business service, to help you prioritize what you should look at. We also, as I said, bubble up the actual incident itself. So we're grouping the alerts and allowing you to triage the set of alerts that we believe are a single incident from a single pane of glass. Once we figure out what the incident is, and we've grouped all the alerts correctly to that incident, our main goal is to help you resolve. So we look at issue similarity and next best action. So issue similarity uses tickets from previous incidents that have been closed to understand if this one looks like something that you've already seen. And if it does, connect you with that ticket so you understand what action should be taken in order to resolve that incident. If there is a runbook or some type of automated action attached to it, prompt you with the ability to run that automatically in order to get to resolution. Finally, once the issue is resolved, help you with the ticket management perspective of this, where we have bi-directional gateways that allow you to write information about the incident and obtain information from those tickets to make sure that they're updated. So the next time something occurs, you have as robust information as possible. Awesome. So in the next section, I wanted to talk through some of the a little more in depth on the specific components of Cloud Pak for AIOps capabilities that you can use in order to remediate your incidents. So I like to start with this slide. It's a bit of an eye chart, but the idea here is popping open the hood so you all can see what's underneath Cloud Pak for AIOps. Starting at the bottom, you can see the ingestion of all of the data from within your system. So events and alerts, topology, metrics, logs, tickets, and also any custom data. This is the foundation that will allow us to use the advanced analytics that we have in order to bubble up the incidents as they occur. The next part, as you build up into this chart, is the analytics that we do with the data that is flowing through the system. So first, we correlate, deduplicate, and reduce noise from within all of that data that you have. We give you that view, the overall view of your IT estate, and make sure that the alerts that you're dealing with are the ones that are most important. Right, in environments that are seeing, millions of events, we need to make sure that you're focused on the right ones. We also look for different trends and deviations in order to do anomaly detection. That's through various AI models in order to understand what is happening within your environment. Have we seen it before to alert you that this is an area that you should be focused on? And finally, we're setting up that stage for condition-driven guidance. right? So understand, based on what has happened in the past, what actions you should be taking in order to alleviate that incident, and get your systems back up and running and performant. Now, all of this in the middle layer gets fed into the top layer, which are those UI views that you can use in order to triage a problem and get remediation. So you can see here, we give you the ability to see your topology, your alerts, and your metrics from within the platform. We also give you business service impact view, so you understand what is impacted across your environment, what services are at risk, so you can decide how you want to triage and prioritize the alerts that are coming through. We finally give you, you can see over on the right, chat ops, so the ability to communicate across your teams with chat, and then those ticketing systems, as I mentioned before. So this is really the overall picture of Cloud Pak for AIOps and how we take the data that's coming through all the way up to allowing you to use that data on a single pane of glass across teams in order to understand what is happening within your environment when an incident occurs, and then giving you those recommendations for you to triage it and for you to get to remediation as quickly as possible. How does this start? It starts by understanding where the truth lies, when the truth can span multiple siloed sources of data. So we have over 200 out-of-the-box sources for you to connect the data within your environment that pulls in your structured and unstructured data, that allows you to begin seeing the overall view of what's happening within your environment. So it takes in all of these disparate data sources that you're seeing within the different siloed groups in the organization and pulls it into one platform in order to form the foundation of giving you the data that you need in order to answer the question, what happened, where did it happen, how can I fix it, when those issues likely are spanning different groups. We then take that data and we make sure to merge it all together so that what is likely going to be millions of data sources goes down to the ones that you need, and you get that representative view of your environment. Once we reduce the noise, right? Once we filter out either duplicative alerts, alerts that are not related to the incident, we bubble up the incident itself. And the incident itself is what we believe you should be focused on in order to triage and resolve the problem. So if you look at the screenshot on the page, this is our incident view. So once the system, either you or the system creates an incident, this is the single pane of glass that you'll be using in order to triage the problem. Just to walk you through it quickly, on the upper left, you can see the probable cause alerts. So these are the alerts that the system has identified as the ones that are likely the culprit for the problem. You can click into each one of them, and you can see in the middle, it'll show you the topology that's related to each of those alerts. So what is affected, what is around it that could be affected, to give you an overall understanding of what could be impacted by this particular alert, so you can bring in the appropriate teams. On that note, you can see over on the right, this area, no assignees. Here you can bring in the right people for who are related to this area of your IT infrastructure, who know more about it, the SMEs, who would be able to come in here, take a look at what is happening with these alerts, take a look at what's happening with topology, and give recommendations on how you can move forward. On this page, we'll also give you the ability to see similar incidents that had happened in the past. So you can see down on the right, if it was open up, related incidents. So these are tickets that have been closed that look similar to what Cloud Pak for AIOps is seeing within your environment now. That allows you to double click in, link directly to that ticket, and understand what happened in the past, what was done in order to resolve the problem, hopefully bring it back here in order to actually do the resolution. And there, for that, you can see at the bottom the run books for the selected alert. So the system will also see if there is any run book that is associated with the probable cause alert that it believes will resolve the issue and prompt you with that run book that you can run it from within the platform in order to get to resolution. I also wanted to bring in exactly how we are doing the deduplication, the event correlation and grouping in order to give you that view that ends up bubbling up to an incident. So this is vital, especially as we see millions of events coming in every day for some of our biggest clients. It's just too much data for anyone, any team to manage. As your environments get more and more complex, as this number of events goes up and up, teams are more and more reliant on noise reduction in order to be able to triage what is happening. So we do this in a few ways. You can see across the middle the different types of analytics that we bring in. So first is temporal. So that's understanding what has occurred, what alerts have occurred together in the past, so that when one begins, we can understand what is likely to follow next for a specific incident. Next is scope-based grouping. So this is unsupervised learning that understands brings in both the time and the place. So it utilizes your topology, it utilizes temporal aspects to say that in this scope is likely the cause of a incident in the past and prompt you with that in the future. Next, we use the topology that we brought in from all of your different data sources once it's stitched together in order to understand that if a event happens on one part of your IT estate, what else is it likely to impact, and make sure that those are brought in when grouping for events and alerts. Make sure we get seasonality. So these are alerts that occur on a regular basis over time with high predictability to make sure that we understand that when they occur, we can prompt you to let you know that this is likely to happen and that it's part of a seasonal event. And last is probable cause. So that's analyzing the events and topology data to understand the alert that is causing the core issue. And as we saw in that incident view before, prompt you with that as the likely cause of the incident so that you can go down that path and in terms of remediation. I also want to highlight the estate inventory views that we have within the product. So here we're giving you end-to-end visibility of your entire IT estate. So network, storage, custom data, servers for large telcos, all the various aspects of their service environment. Right, where you're able to visualize all of this within Cloud Pak for AIOps. So these are screens that you're seeing on the right of the product. And you're also able to see this, how it changes over time. So we're bringing in the chronological aspect of your topology so you know what it looked like, what it's changed to, if any of those changes have led to issues within your environment. It is easier to go back, pinpoint the exact change that occurred that caused the issue, and use that to remediate. But we also allow you to understand the business criticality of the different parts of your environment. So when you see an issue arising on a specific component of your stack, it will flag it as a critical part of your business so that you know where you should be triaging as you go forward. I also wanted to share this. This is a new view that is in the product as of end of 2024. So this is geospatial mapping that is now part of topology. This gives you the ability to look at your topological resources on a map when we have that data from your environments, which is incredibly useful for many teams, because what we found is that a lot of incidents don't occur within geographic silos. If you're having an issue in one place, there are likely other things within that local area that that are also having issues. Now, that could be from something that is a vestige of your environment. It could also be something that's a vestige of the larger environment around you. We found that things like wildfires or hurricanes are culprits here, and being able to visualize your alerts on a map from a resource perspective is incredibly helpful in understanding where the problem is, what the problem is, and how you can get to resolution for the specific parts of your infrastructure. And finally, resolution. I wanted to cover how exactly we allow you to go through and automate the process of resolution. So you can see on the right the screen for the incident view. This is giving you recommended runbooks based on the probable cause alert that you've selected. And these runbooks allow you to set up automations in order to take action to resolve the problem. Now, these have different levels of automation based on what is right for you and your organization. So it's anywhere from manual step-by-step guidance, giving you the playbook on how you can go about doing the actions that are necessary in order to remediate the problem, to semi-automated, where you'll go in and trigger the individual actions within the runbook with guidance, and then finally fully auto-triggered automations where you're pretty confident of an issue, you've seen it before. This runbook has the abilities that will resolve the issue. So you're okay setting up to fully automated triggering, such that when that incident arises, the system will go ahead and set off that automation in order to try to resolve the incident. We also want to make sure through resolution that all the team members are aware of what is happening. So we bring in chat ops into the platform so that you can directly send messages through Slack or Microsoft Teams in order to bring in the right people. And also that the tickets that are coming from the system are all up to date with our bidirectional gateways to services like ServiceNow. So that is the overview of Cloud Pak for AIOps. I wanted to highlight some of the new things that we added to the product in 2024. Really, for the last year, we focused very much on flexibility and usability. So we understand that our clients, our clients are different, that they are different sizes, they have different tech stacks. They need to be able to use Cloud Pak for AIOps in a way that is right for them, and that this needs to be structured for their bespoke environments and their bespoke needs. So the first thing we delivered was a Linux-based deployment. So Cloud Pak for AIOps has run on OpenShift for the last 5 years, and we really like OpenShift. We think it's a great platform for our product, but we also know that that's not right for all of our clients for various reasons. Some aren't ready. Some choose not to go down the OCP path. So we wanted to make sure that that the features of Cloud Pak for AIOps are also available to them. So last year, we focused on bringing out a Linux-based deployment. So now clients can deploy Cloud Pak for AIOps through Linux. This is really exciting. We have seen a lot of interest around this since it came out late last year. So if that's something that is interesting to you, it's definitely a path that we can go down. Next is modular installation. So with all of the heavy analytics within Cloud Pak for AIOps, the footprint of Cloud Pak for AIOps also was heavy to accommodate. And we knew that this was an issue for our customers who weren't using all of the analytics, weren't using all of the use cases that Cloud Pak for AIOps could handle. So we wanted to make sure that when a client comes on Cloud Pak for AIOps, they only had to install the use cases that were relevant to them, and then could add more over time as more and more unlocked. So we introduced this idea of modular installation, where we have a base install that focuses on event management, and then clients can level up to the more advanced features with log anomaly detection, similar incidents, those types of features when they're ready. We also did our first foray into generative AI. So we'll get a little more into our Gen AI roadmap in the next slide. But the first feature that we delivered for our Gen AI roadmap is instance title generation. So what this is the ability to learn from the structure of incident titles that are renamed by your operations teams and then are applied to incidents in the future. Now, this may seem like a small thing, but during shift changes, during communication, having incidents that are titled correctly saves you valuable time in communicating what is happening with the incident. So being able to have incidents that are titled in accordance with your bespoke environments that are understood by your operations staff is vital. And we're just going to build on this going forward. Next, geospatial mapping, as I just talked through, gives you the ability to see your topology, see your incidents on a map, so you can understand what is happening from a geospatial perspective. We also delivered custom dashboarding. We know that there's tremendous amount of data flowing through Cloud Pak for AIOps, and that data isn't only useful to our operations teams, but is useful to many other different parts of the business. Whether that be application teams, executives, line of business, they need their own views based on the data and the incidents that are coming through Cloud Pak for AIOps. So we've now given the ability to do this. We have a data exporter that allows you to export the alert data from Cloud Pak for AIOps into a DB2 database with the ability to use this data and create visualizations within Cognos. So that's really exciting. And the last one I wanted to highlight.
Hey Gene, as you get into the last one, I think there was a question around that from the audience saying, given the scope of the CP4I, that it looks at so many different data sources, so many different applications, how do we manage security within the platform? And I think RBAC is a good example of how we manage, like who sees what and who gets to do what, things like that. So I just wanted to give you that question that came up just now.
That's perfect.
So that you can answer it in that context.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for prompting there. So that's exactly right. What we've seen is we have clients at different governmental organizations. We have clients with different regulatory environments that need to have very bespoke rules around who can see what data. Now, this becomes even more difficult when we realize that the data within a resource, pieces of that data may be things that need to be abstracted, but the fact that resource exists is something that also needs to be present for someone who's triaging a problem. So what we've done is we've introduced highly granular resource-based access control, and we differentiate this from role-based access control in that we will give you the ability to control exactly what is seen by role down to the resource level. So that is understand, we allow operators to set up who can see what types of data within a resource in a non-deletive way, so that where the information needs to be abstracted, where the different roles need to only see some things and other things, they can still do their job by using this platform without jeopardizing compliance. So this is something that has also been highly useful by our clients. We rolled this out in the second half of last year, and we're seeing a lot of usage on it. Okay, great. I wanted to quickly go through where we see our Gen AI vision going forward. This is something that we've given a lot of thought to. We see, a lot of our competitors putting different things in their products. And I think our main goal was to make sure that when we brought in Gen AI, the use cases were solid and things that actually could be used by operations teams to great effect, not just an add-on to check the box of Gen AI. So starting in the upper left with incident contextualization and investigation. So I already talked about incident title summary. We are going to be bringing that same idea into incident summarization. It's not just the title, but the incident itself. So you have an understanding of what's affected, what is really happening when you go and read about the overall incident itself. We're also going to be bringing the ability to train on the general knowledge base of your data to understand what your environment looks like. So when something occurs, give you the flags of where you should be looking. We're going to be using Gen AI for noise reduction analytics. So first is alert correlation. We've done a great job, I would say, in using machine learning in order to bring down noise reduction within your environment. So what we want to do is extend that to Gen AI to see how we can use that technology in order to further reduce the noise that's coming within your systems in order so that you focus on the right things. And also give the ability to manage the incident through chat with with Gen AI itself. We're going to bring Gen AI into automated remediation. So that's going to be looking at what remediations are recommended, and even going so far as to authoring remediations that can be used on the fly in order to resolve the incident. We're also going to use it through what we're calling what-if analysis. So using Gen AI to evaluate what the issue is, choose the remediation that is appropriate, test if that remediation would work, and if it's has high enough confidence, execute that remediation, and then go back to the operator and say what the outcome was. And last, operations insight. So use Gen AI in order to give you a better understanding of your environment in order to plan for the future. So where are you seeing issues arise on a regular basis that need to be addressed? Where are you seeing performance issues? Because there is so much data around your instance coming through Cloud Pak for AIOps, we have the unique ability to use Gen AI in order to understand where those issues are and help you resolve the possible issues within your tech stack. Okay, great. So we have about 15 minutes left, which is perfect. I just want to run through some of the success that our clients are seeing with Cloud Pak for AIOps. So first, I wanted to highlight a large South American telecommunications company. This was a client who had multiple data silos that needed to be monitored with largely disparate and uncorrelated data that were producing a tremendous amount of anomalies. They utilized Cloud Pak for AIOps to bring all that data into one platform, gain control over the infrastructure, understand all of the assets and within their topology, visualize this, and ultimately with the idea of bringing down that mean time to resolution. And they were able to do exactly that. So you can see over on the right, they achieved 99% noise reduction on 400,000 monthly events. 300% reduction in mean time to detect across 5 different data sources, and a 250% reduction in mean time to remediate. 99% noise reduction is a tremendous efficiency gain, especially when you're seeing hundreds of thousands or millions of events coming through. This is really going to help you focus on the ones that are important. So this was a great example of a use case of Cloud Pak for AIOps. Awesome. Next is production deployment at a large Middle East energy company. So you can see here, this company was tracking more than 5.3 million data points across their environment. Now, they were already a NetCool customer, whereas I should have said the other one that we just mentioned, the South American telco company, was not a NetCool customer. So I want to bring in one that was on some of our previous event management solutions, and one that was not. So they were a NetCool customer. So for those of you who are NetCool customers, this would be more applicable to you. And what they wanted to do is modernize from what they had in the past without replacing. So that was working very well for them. But they wanted to take advantage of the new analytics within Cloud Pak for AIOps, in addition to what they were already getting on NetCool. So you can see over on the right, they were able to achieve 46% noise reduction on an average 24,000 events per year. They reduced their MTTR by 3 hours, a 25% reduction in man hour necessary in order to resolve an incident. 50% of the outages were auto-remediated. They were able to identify and correlate events from 2 different domains, with 60% of detected anomalies resolved before any customer complaint. So really another great case of using Cloud Pak for AIOps across a highly complex environment with many sources of data in order to reduce the noise and achieve better mean time to resolution than they could have in the past. Okay, so I want to just summarize what we just talked through, and really the core value of Cloud Pak for AIOps. So what we're seeing within our clients in their steady state today are siloed tools and teams that don't have an understanding of their environment across the various tools that their team is using. This gives them not the appropriate amount of context when an issue arises, causing very long triage, very long resolution times, and forcing them to use manual processes in order to alleviate the problems when they do occur. With Cloud Pak for AIOps, we alleviate these issues by through correlation, through AI analysis, anomaly detection. We reduce the mean MTTX, so mean time to know, mean time to investigate, mean time to understand, mean time to resolve. We give you that full understanding across the tools within your environment by ingesting all of the data, stitching it together, and helping you pinpoint what is occurring when an issue arises. We give you the context that goes across these silos in order to make the right action when an issue occurs, and pinpoint exactly what that probable cause is that is the fundamental issue, so that you can get to resolution quicker, and then gives you the ability to remediate through automation so that you're able to get up and running as quickly as possible. So with that, thank you so much for your time, and happy to take some questions.
Thank you, Gene. I don't think there are any more questions. I think you went through all of them in detail. I think you went through the challenges, what we're doing, what's new in the product. So I think that was quite comprehensive. maybe we'll queue it for some more time and see if there are any more questions before we wrap up. If not, feel free to attend the survey and give us some feedback on what we can improve, or if there's anything you like in the product, anything you'd love to see in the product. Feel free to use these surveys to give us more feedback. We do have some more time left, so we can hang around. If not, we can always go to the office hours and you can come there and ask us questions. So again, AI ops, I think we've all seen, right? Ops is becoming such a big challenge for a lot of clients, especially companies are building more and more applications. It's getting more and more complex across the infrastructure landscape. And it's no longer a human problem. They're using these smarter tools to get a handle on these things. And again, Gene said this all through the presentation, right? We're not looking to come in and replace any of your tools. What we're trying to do is bring order to the chaos, which typically we see, right? So many different tools, balls get dropped in between. We're trying to connect all the dots. We're trying to make sure balls don't get dropped. Also, get you more automation, right? So you can focus on higher value tasks and automate a lot of the lower level tasks. Even the higher level tasks use AI and other things to augment your decision making, right? We know sometimes fatigue sets in. Sometimes when you have 5 different fires, it's impossible for you to focus, and that's where you could use AI to help you along the way. Gene, maybe any other, what are you seeing in the field? What are you seeing your clients complain about, or what are you seeing your complaints or your clients tell you, like, hey, this is what I love in CP for AI ops, or this is what I really use this platform for. So maybe spend a couple of minutes, and if we don't get any questions, we'll wrap it up.
Absolutely. So, I think, Sean, very much to your point and what I was saying throughout the presentation, the issue that clients are seeing is that there really is just too much noise for them to be able to effectively triage when issues arise. And so, anything that gives them the ability to cut through what isn't important and get to importance really, really is important. Excuse me, really is something that's vital for them to resolving their incidents. You're also seeing various tool proliferation throughout their ecosystem. So as I said, every team within their environment is going to have a bespoke set of tools, and those tools are very much useful for their group's view of the world. But there's an understanding that those tools need to have shared information in order to get at truth in order to resolve an incident. So those are really the big issues we're seeing, right? Unifying all of the operational data into one place is what's helping clients resolve their incidents faster, helping the operations teams understand what's happening within their ecosystem. So those are the main use cases that we're seeing, and as you're getting to even more and more complex organizations, the need for this goes up and up and up.
Yeah, I think there was, as we were queuing this up, there was a question like, how do you convince a company management team or a committee to implement this model or a problem-solving methodology? What advice would you offer? So I would always start off with what are you missing out, right? Or what's the option of not implementing this? And I think that's where Gene was alluding to. Like, if you look at a lot of clients we work with today, if you don't do AI ops, one is their applications suffer because they're not able to give enough coverage from an IT standpoint. Because they're not able to give enough coverage to some of these tier 1 applications, it affects the application performance itself, because it affects the application experience, because you may have an application that's slow or that's going down often. And then you have the end users complain. This could have revenue implications, especially because a lot of these are tier 1 applications. And I think that's where you need to talk to your stakeholder and find out what is that pain for them by not doing these things, or what is the pain for them today with the existing tool sets, right? Because it's not like adding another tool, right? Like if you're going to them and convincing them to add another tool, then it's a hard climb up, or it's a steep hill to climb. But if you're going to them and saying, what if I can avoid that problem, or what if I can, if that problem happens, reduce the time you take to respond to that problem. So today, if you're taking an hour or 2 hours to bring that system online again, what if one, I can avoid that system from going down, or even for some reason it goes down, I can bring it up in 15 minutes. That's the kind of guarantees you can give. And if that's good enough for them, then you have a sale, or you have a customer. Gene, I don't know if you want to.
I absolutely agree. So I think I would highlight some of the double clicks into those questions that that Sean mentioned. So I would highlight to them. I would ask, how many different tools do they have within their IT organization that are doing monitoring? How many different components? Because it's likely many. I would ask them how many different alerts that they're getting over the course of the last month. And then, I would even go so far as to talk through the question I posed at the beginning of this, which is, what did your last IT outage look like? And from what we've seen from different organizations, is it doesn't look great. That it's often haphazard, hard to manage, definitely leaving time on the table in order to get to resolution. So really, like Sean said, highlight the problem by asking those very specific questions and showing how. I think one of the key selling points for the question is how we can bring those tools together to reduce noise and get to resolution. So showing that we can take those tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of events, reduce them down to some number of alerts, and then reduce them further to incidents, and how that is directly going to lead to that time save in resolution, usually goes a long way.
Yeah, and I think, Gene, what you said, like typically what I've seen is the customers, right? Like I ask them, like you said, what does your current process look like? So ask them to define their current process, and they say that our current process is, we are getting APM data, we are getting data from this site, and then they say, oh, we are not bringing in network data. Then you have an opportunity. You can say that's a blind spot for you, right? Because you're bringing APM data, you're bringing infrastructure data, but you're not marrying it with network data. So you have a blind spot there. Then you say, okay, I can fix that blind spot. Okay, now we fix that. Now what do you do with that data? You correlated all that data. How do you respond next? And then they will say, okay, this is what we do next. And then find some inefficiencies there. Like you can say, okay, you do this manually, we can automate that. And then you say, okay, now you have that, you know what the problem is, you know what needs to be resolved. How do you resolve that? Then they say, okay, we send a ticket to service now, we do this, we do that. And then you can say, yeah, we can do that, but we can go even further. We can actually automate that through a runbook automation or something like that. So then now you can show them through that whole continuum where their process took them X number of hours, it took them 5 different steps, took them 3 different teams, how you're simplifying that and you're making it a better experience. And then say, would this new process be of value to you versus your existing process? And they'll say, yeah, this is going to save me a lot of this thing. This is going to free up my team. This is going to, then you say, okay, now let's start this journey through an engagement or something like that. Thank you, Gene. I think this was really good. I think we covered a lot. Again, these recordings are available. These slides are available. Sometimes you have to go through it once or twice to pick up all the hidden nuggets in there, because I saw Gene was dropping a lot of different things. If you miss it the first time, when you re-listen to the recording, you'll pick this up. And again, let's transition into office hours. You will have more opportunities to interact with us. With that, thank you, Gene. And again, feel free to complete the survey on your way out. And thank you for tracking with us on day 1 of TechCon. A lot of exciting stuff, but we have more content coming for you soon. Thank you, Gene, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.